Welcome, students. I welcome you to today's lesson, which we are going to be discussing child care. Under child care, we are going to be looking at nutrition, immunization, and common ailments of children. Now, let's go into the topic proper. A baby is very helpless. They have to be cared for by the adults, especially the parents. The caregiving to a baby influences his or her development. Childcare includes feeding, clothing, cleanliness, prevention, watching over the child. All the care must be given in a loving environment so that a child will develop well and positively. Now let's talk about nutrition. Poor feeding in infancy can retard growth. The first 6 months of an infant's life depends on the type of feeding. The baby needs good food that can promote growth and development. Baby can be fed by either breast milk or bottle. Now let's look at breastfeeding. Breast milk is the food provided by nature for a baby. The milk is best for a baby so that there is need to encourage exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months, which is commonly known as baby friendly. There should be no water or any other food during these first 6 months. This is very good for the baby's health. Now let's take a look at the advantages of breastfeeding. 1. It is the natural way of feeding a baby. 2. It is of the right temperature. 3. Breast milk contains antibodies that protect a child from diseases. It contains all nutrients needed by the baby in the right proportion. Breast milk brings the mother and baby very close. Also, breast milk clears the bowels of a newborn baby. This is possible through the colostrum. Colostrum is the first milk secreted by the mother's breast shortly after the birth of a baby. It helps the newborn baby's bowel to be cleared of meconium, which is the baby's first sticky dark stool. Now let's take a look at artificial feeding. This is also known as bottle feeding. Exclusive breastfeeding is highly recommended from birth to 6 months. However, some situations may make it compulsory to feed the baby with formula or other food. Now let's see the reasons for artificial feeding. Working mothers who go out to work, they are able to have their babies fed when they are not there. When the mother is sick and cannot breastfeed her baby. If the breastfeeding mother dies, and also if the mother gives birth to twins, triplets, etc., and the breast milk is not enough to satisfy them all, then artificial feeding comes into play. Now let's see the disadvantages of artificial feeding. It is expensive. Extra money is needed to buy the food and the feeding equipment. It may be easily contaminated by germs during preparation. It needs elaborate preparation, so it is time consuming. The feeding equipment have to be sterilized every day. This also costs time and money. Now we are going to take a look at weaning. This is the process of helping a baby get used to food other than the mother's breast milk. Weaning may involve any of the following changes: from breastfeeding to artificial feeding, from breast milk and artificial feeding to semi-solid food, from breast milk to solid food, and from artificial feeding to solid food. When you are trying to introduce the child to other food other than what? Breast milk, it is called weaning. Next, we are going to be looking at immunization of a child. Immunization is administered to protect children from 0 to 2 years and expectant mother against diseases. The main purpose is to reduce the mortality rate, that is the death rate, resulting from the following diseases: tetanus, whooping cough, smallpox, tuberculosis, measles, and diphtheria. Now let's take a look at the type of immunization. We have various types of immunization. We are going to be discussing them one after the other. First, we have the triple vaccine, which is known as the OTP. Here, 3 vaccines are mixed together, that is tetanus, diphtheria, and whooping cough. The injection is given to the child for the protection against those diseases. We have measles vaccine. The vaccine is given to protect the child against measles. Smallpox vaccine. This vaccine is given to protect the child against smallpox. BCG. This vaccine is given to protect the child from having tuberculosis. We also have the polio vaccine and the quadruple vaccine. The quadruple vaccine contains 4 vaccines mixed together. Now let's look at the common ailments in childhood. First, we have constipation. This involves the passing of hard stool at long interval or not passing at all. Each child has its own pattern of passing stool. Constipation could be common with bottle-fed babies. Treatment: you have to give the child extra water to drink, add sugar or glucose to his food, give him more fruit. If the case is serious, it should be taken to the doctor. Next is diarrhea. This is a sudden increase in the number of bowel movements, especially if they are loose or watery. Diarrhea could be caused by overfeeding, an infection or disease, or an unsuitable diet. Treatment: the child should be given oral rehydration therapy, which is ORT, after each stool. Also, see a doctor if the diarrhea persists. Next, we are going to be looking at nappy rash. This occurs when a child has rashes in the nappy area. It could be caused by using dirty napkins or pampers on the baby, or leaving soiled napkins or pampers on the baby for a long period of time. Treatment: keep the area clean and exposed. Do not use napkin until the rashes disappear. Apply special napkin rash ointment or lotions. Lastly, we are going to discuss colic. This is caused by cramps in the intestines of the baby. This causes the baby discomfort or pain. It is a common complaint during the first 3 to 4 months, but is not common after that period. And that brings us to the end of this lesson. Feel free to ask any question concerning the topic that you don't understand and attempt the questions on your content pages and quizzes. Bye.